Банкиров лондонского Сити пытаются приучить к скромности. В начале года финансисты традиционно...
Медсестра или солдат, воюющий в Афганистане за всю их жизнь.
In that sort of culture where people are pushing forward, they're young, they're trying to make a name for themselves, going to your boss and admitting that you've made a mistake is not too good.
Entrepreneurs and businessmen, let's call them businessmen, they're not the same, are they?
In general terms, no, they're not. And it's fair to say that the skills of being an entrepreneur and driving forward a business, being innovative, are not the same sort of skills that you need to run a large global organisation.
Se la cultura che domina in banca è quella che pretende la perfezione per fare carriera e guadagnare più soldi, beh...
So, an inspirational manager, it seems, can make the world of difference to a football team. But what about business?
I agree in some ways, but in other ways, let's be fair, bearing in mind the amount of money that those Chelsea players are getting each week.
It's a lot of rubbery.
Exactly, so if they didn't score at all, they'd still be slightly better off than probably even Bob Diamond. But going to the organisational side of it, the CEO's role sometimes is overestimated by CEOs.
First of all, we hear this phrase, rogue trader, once again. How can it keep on happening?
That is actually the big question that I suspect the banks are asking themselves as well.
First of all, Chris, you get the sense that this is a fairly big moment for British banking.
Yes, certainly. For British banking, this is a very big night.
Putting in place policies, real policies, how difficult is it?
It shouldn't be that difficult because it's just the way a good organisation should work.
You were telling me there are 3 irreconcilable positions.
Yeah,
and
that's the key problem, and I think the 3 positions don't really understand each other that much.
Chris Roebuck, you used to work for a major international bank. What does it mean for British banks when the likes of Goldman Sachs announce substantial bonuses?
The British banks have no choice but to go along with it.
Joining us around the desk to discuss now is Chris Roebuck, visiting professor of transformational leadership at the Cass Business School. When all's said and done, I mean, there was some great rhetoric from both sides yesterday, great defence from Messrs Blankfein and Tour, and very attacking comments from the senators. But did anyone come out better on the back of this, despite the rhetoric?
The interesting thing is that actually there's different audiences watching what happened.
Absolutely, and I guess part of the problem here, though, would be, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that there's the vote by the shareholders is non-binding, so it doesn't really force the bank to take action and cut pay. But what will they do? I mean, some would say they'd be pretty stupid to ignore it.
When you effectively have more than half of your shareholders who do not approve your executive remuneration, whether it's non-binding or not, it's a fairly strong and significant message.
Chris, great stuff as always. Thanks.
We've got to leave it there. Chris, very nice to see you. Hopefully you'll join us again soon. Maybe come in as a guest host. It'd be very good to see if you could. Chris Roebuck, visiting professor, Cass Business School.
In case it does the same thing. Good to see you. There you are. Good to see you. Many thanks.
A lot as well. We thank you for your time. Chris Roebuck, professor at the Cass Business...
It's time for us to hand over for someone new almost now. Nice to see you, Chris. Thanks for coming in.
OK, Chris Roebuck from the Cass Business School. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Chris Roebuck, professor from Cass Business School. Thanks so much for coming in. Great to get your analysis.
OK, thank you very much, Chris Roebuck. Thanks very much.